And now we're going to turn live to Colombia to our correspondent, Natalia Margarita. She's covering all of the details on this important development in the peace process in Colombia. Hello there, Natalia. So help us understand what exactly the government has agreed to here. Now, at the beginning, many said that the Colombian government would accept a bilateral ceasefire, something that the FARC has been pushing now for a long time. But later, the government said that this is not a bilateral ceasefire. What exactly is it?
We're talking exactly about de-escalation measures that the government agreed to implement once the FARC starts to implement this unilateral ceasefire that they have recently announced, Cody. So basically, it has to do with starting from the 20th of July, when the FARC will start this unilateral ceasefire, which is the sixth unilateral ceasefire that they have implemented so far since the peace negotiations started, as you said, on November of 2012. So according to this implementation of the unilateral ceasefire and how the FARC comply with this unilateral ceasefire, the government is expected to start implementing de-escalation measures. So the government hasn't yet said which exactly these de-escalation measures are going to be. But for instance, we've been talking with peace advocates, human rights defenders, social organizations, and what they expect from the government, again, starting from the 20th of July, is that the government suspend, for instance, as a first step, the air strikes on FARC positions. That could be very likely a first de-escalation measure. But we still need to hear from the government, from Juan Manuel Santos, exactly how this is going to work in the practice.
And if I'm not mistaken, Natalia, they had previously, maybe last year, suspended those airstrikes, so they will suspend them again. Explain to us how this plays into the overall peace dialogues that continue in Cuba.
Well, the main spirit of this latest agreement, what was announced yesterday in Havana, and today by Humberto de la Calle, which is the chief negotiator, and the High Commissioner for Peace, that is Sergio Jaramillo, they basically said that the main spirit of the latest agreement is, on the one side, to accelerate the negotiations in Havana, and on the other side, to de-escalate the conflict in Colombia. Basically, we're talking about two things here. On the one side is that the methodology itself of the negotiations has changed according to the latest announcement. Before the negotiations were working by rounds of negotiations. Now they said that they are going to accelerate these negotiations by working constantly and intensifying the work there in Havana. And this, together with this de-escalation of the conflict that is expected to start from the 20th of July. So basically what social organizations here and peace advocates are saying is that definitely the de-escalation of the conflict in Colombia is going to have a very positive impact right there in Havana in the negotiations, in terms that indeed it's going to contribute to construct more confidence, not just among the parts that are sitting there in the negotiations in Havana, but also among Colombians, the civil population here in Colombia towards the peace process. And that this confidence, this construction on confidence, it's definitely going to help out to push forward a final peace agreement. That is what the majority of Colombians have been waiting for during the last 2 years and a half, almost 3 years since the peace negotiations started.
And that's what we'll be waiting for as well. It seems like some positive steps there within the peace negotiations between the FARC and the government taking place in Cuba. Natalia Margarita reporting from Colombia. Thank you very much, Natalia.
Back to you, Cody.